He called me in the middle of the day, laughing like I was the punchline of some cruel joke. "I'm divorcing you," he said. "I already sold our apartment, and I'm starting a new life with my new girlfriend. Good luck finding a place to live." I said nothing. I just replied, "Sounds good." But what he didn't know was that his little surprise was going to cost him everything. If you've ever been betrayed, underestimated, or made to feel like you didn't matter, then this story is for you. Hit that like button, subscribe, and prepare for one of the coldest, most satisfying revenge stories you've heard today. I remember the moment he called like it was tattooed on my brain. I was in the middle of grocery shopping, picking out tomatoes, of all things, when my phone buzzed. His name flashed across the screen. My stomach sank. I hadn't heard from him in days. Not since our last fight. Not since he stormed out. He didn't even say hello. Just dove right in with a tone that dripped with smugness. "I'm divorcing you," he said, like it was something he'd been rehearsing in front of a mirror. "And I've already sold the apartment. I'm moving in with my girlfriend. Have fun looking for a new place. I'm sure the shelter has room." He chuckled. Actually chuckled. I stood there frozen. The woman beside me reached past for a pack of lettuce, completely unaware my life was being shattered by a man who used to promise forever. But I didn't let my voice break. I kept it calm, neutral. I said, "Sounds good." Then I hung up. He thought he'd won. You see, my ex, let's call him Jake, was the kind of man who needed to feel in control. At first, I mistook it for confidence. Over time, I realized it was manipulation. He never hit me, never yelled. But he chipped away at my self-worth like he was carving a sculpture. He'd talk down to me in front of his friends. Make jokes about how I'd never survive without him. He controlled the finances. And now, he thought he'd control the end too. But here's the thing, the apartment wasn't in his name alone. Legally, we co-owned it. And while he'd managed to trick someone into buying his share, he'd forgotten one tiny but crucial detail: I had right of first refusal. Meaning, if he wanted to sell his half, he had to offer it to me first. He hadn't. And that made the entire sale illegal. When I got home, Jake was packing what little was left of his things. He wore this ridiculous smile, like he couldn't wait to see the look on my face. But when I walked in, calm as the sea before a storm, that smile slowly started to fade. "Didn't expect to see you back here," he said. "Figured you'd be off couch surfing." I looked him straight in the eyes and said, "Actually, I spoke to a lawyer." I watched the color drain from his face. "The sale you made, it's void. You never offered me first refusal." He stammered. "What are you talking about?" "The deal's done." I handed him a printed letter from my attorney. "Not anymore." Jake went ballistic. Tried to shout, tried to threaten. But the moment he realized I knew my rights, and that the buyer had already backed out when notified, it was over. And that's when the fun really began. I could have just kept the apartment and kicked him out. That would have been enough for some people. But not me. I wanted him to feel the powerlessness he tried to bury me under. I wanted him to taste the same humiliation he served cold over the years. So I waited. A few weeks later, Jake and his new girlfriend, yes, the woman he'd been cheating on me with for over a year, moved into a tiny rental across town. Apparently, she thought she was stepping into a life of luxury. Instead, she got cracked tiles, a noisy upstairs neighbor, and a man with no assets, no apartment, and no backup plan. Meanwhile, I listed the apartment. But not just any listing, I partnered with a friend in real estate who staged it beautifully. We're talking luxury candles, warm lighting, lush plants, and photos that made it look like it belonged in a magazine. Within 2 weeks, I had multiple offers. I sold it for 30% more than what Jake had agreed to. And here's the kicker, I used the profit to put a down payment on a cozy townhome in a gated community. One with a private garden. A home where I didn't have to walk on eggshells anymore. But wait, it gets better. Jake had always laughed at my career. "You and your little freelance gigs," he used to say. "When are you gonna get a real job?" He didn't know that while he was off playing house with his new girlfriend, I landed the biggest contract of my career. 6 months of work that paid more than he made in a year. So when I bumped into them at a mutual friend's party, yes, I still got invited, he had the nerve to scoff at my outfit, whispering to his girlfriend like a teenager. That's when I pulled out my phone, opened a photo, and showed it to the host. It was me, standing in front of my new place, holding the keys with a big grin. Jake saw it. His eyes widened. His girlfriend asked what it was. I smiled and said, "Just closed on a new home. Thought it was time for an upgrade." He didn't laugh this time. She looked at him. Wait, I thought you said she was broke. I didn't even stay long. Just long enough to enjoy the awkward silence. The best revenge isn't loud. It doesn't come with fireworks or a dramatic speech. It comes with peace, success, and the delicious silence of someone realizing they completely underestimated you. Jake lost the apartment, his control, and, rumor has it, his girlfriend too, once she realized he wasn't the man he pretended to be. Meanwhile, I gained my independence, a better home, and a newfound confidence in my ability to rise from the ashes. Sometimes, the people who try to break you are just giving you the motivation to build something stronger. When someone underestimates you, don't fight back with anger, fight back with success. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and let me know in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen or experienced? And if you want more stories like this, ones that prove karma is real, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell.